everyone, this is Bobby with Bobby Stamps, and I have this cute little card I'm going to share with you guys today. I needed a baby shower card a couple of weeks ago, and when I was at work, I was thinking, I don't think that I have any stamp sets that would be appropriate like for a baby shower or is themed for a baby shower. And wouldn't you know, that night when I came home, Sarah Douglas, the CEO of Stampin' Up, had done a Facebook Live where she shared this card, and it is in our annual catalog. I don't know how I missed it, but it's right there on page 47. And I thought, oh my good gosh, what a perfect time. I need that card so bad. So I am going to recreate it. I changed just a few of the things, the sentiment, but no big deal really. So I'll show you how I'm going to make this card. So I'm using, oh my gosh, I totally drew a blank. Seaside Spray for my card base. And then I'm using So Saffron. So this is the So Saffron. I ran this through my Big Shot using the Hammered Metal 3D embossing folder. And then I'm going to use some glossy white to do my background on. And that piece of glossy white is 3 3/4 by 5, and then I just have a strip of basic Whisper White cardstock that I'm going to stamp my sentiment on. For that, I've already cut out all the stars just to help save time, but I did leave them out so I can show you. So this is from, let me grab them, the Stitched Stars dies. So mine are kind of everywhere, but I used this one, which looks like it's probably the second largest. And then I used this one. It makes the tiniest ones here. And then this one, of course, makes those. And then this one is that one. Okay, so those are the dies that I used for the stars. Then I used the Well Said stamp set. And I actually didn't use the stamp set. Yes, I did. I used Baby. So I used the sentiment there that says Baby. And then I used the Well Written dies, and you can see it right here. So that is going to pop out my baby there. And I used our foam dots, our foam adhesive on the back. And then from the Zany Zebras, I used It's Time to Celebrate, and I just cut that in half. Okay, and then like I just said, I'm using So Saffron ink, and then I'm using my Seaside Spray re-inker. Okay, I missed one of my dies. Let me move our stars out of the way just so I don't lose any of those, and I'm just going to slide the baby part over there, move the card out of the way, and we will get started. So the soft Seaside Spray, not soft. It's Soft Seaside Spray. I'm renaming it. This is cut at 4 1/4 by 11, and then I just scored it at 5 1/2. And then, like I just said, this piece is So Saffron, and it's cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And we can go ahead and adhere this piece down. Oh my goodness! I just changed that. Oh man. I have not had that do that before. Hold on, guys. Okay, I'll deal with that in a minute. Let me just use my Tombow. I'm not going to continue to rip my paper. I'm not sure what happened there. I have never had that happen. I just changed it right before I started the video. I ran out, but I did hear them talk about that, so I'm going to have to see what I have to do to get that to back out because it's such a strong adhesive. I know they said stop and then just back it back out. So we'll just try that here after I get done. Okay, so I've got that piece all down. Let me move that out of the way. Now I'm just gonna grab some of my old PDFs that I don't need anymore. Make sure I get that staple out so it doesn't puncture my card. Okay. I'm just going to kind of double those up like that. So like I said, this is glossy, the glossy white cardstock. I'm using our new water painters. I was going to call it watercolor. So I'm just going to take, before I do that though, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of the re-inker on this block. And we're going to use this again because we're also going to use our embossing paste. So we're going to use that to color that. Now I like to put a little bit of water on the block and then I can just draw that water out. But I'm also gonna put some water on my paper. I'm gonna grab a paper towel because I want to keep cleaning my brush and things like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull some of that in to the ink and mix some of that up, and then just start putting that on the paper. And I'm just going for a background. I'm not trying to make a design or anything. So I'm just back and forth is basically what I'm doing. That really didn't seem like that grabbed a lot of that re-ink, or I'm not sure what I did there. So I'm just gonna keep going back and forth with that. Okay, and then I'm just gonna leave that. I could have spaced it out a little bit more, but I'm okay with the way that that looks. And I'm gonna actually add a little bit more because I kind of want a little bit darker of a background wash. There we go. I'm not sure what happened that first time, why that didn't mix that well. And you do still have to be careful with this. I'm not going to add any water this time because it's still not getting to the shade that I want. I want it to be a little bit darker. You do still have to be careful because this is just regular glossy, and you know, you don't want the fibers to start peeling up on you. So I'm just going to put that on there. Okay, now I'm just going to leave that alone and let that dry. I'm just going to set that off to the side and let that dry. I'm actually probably going to have to use the heat tool. So let me pause the video really quick and I'll dry that with my heat tool and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I dried it a little bit. I didn't go too crazy on it. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to dry this off here, and I'm going to grab silicone mat, and I'm gonna, you can either leave this straight and then turn the your decorative masks. So I'm using the basic pattern decorative masks for this, so I'm gonna turn mine kind of like that, and then I'm just gonna take some regular painter's tape, and I'm just gonna peel that down so it just kind of holds the mask and I don't have to worry about it slipping too much for me. Then I'm gonna take, kind of move some stuff out of my way and rearrange. I'm gonna take the, this is just our regular embossing paste, and we have our palette knives. So I'm just gonna take this one. It does not take very much of this at all. So I'm gonna try not to get out too much because I've actually don't want to waste this today. I love using my embossing paste. I think I might have to order. Always make sure your lid is on tight so that way you don't have to worry about it drying out, because it will dry out if you leave that opened. Now I'm gonna add a little bit more. I'm gonna add probably 4 or 5 drops of that because I thought I was doing it dark enough. I don't want it to blend in kind of like it is with the background, the watercolor that I just did. So I really want this to be a little bit darker. Yes, I'm happy with this now. Earlier, I thought I had it dark enough, and it just, once I put it on there, it just didn't seem to be that dark to me. So I'm just mixing this all up, and I will tell you, I'll show you actually. Let me get this all mixed up here. I have an old little bowl right here, and I have hot soapy water in there. So when I'm done, I can actually put my silicone mat, the mask, and my palette knife right in that water. So let's just scoop that up, and I'm not going for any type of pattern or anything like that. This is just going to be a little bit of a background. So let me wipe that off, and then I'm just gonna make sure I have that pushed down, and then I'm gonna take this and just scoop the rest of that off. Okay, This stuff dries super fast, you guys, so that's why you have your water there. So I'm going to put that in the water. I'm going to put my palette knife in the water, dry my hands off, and I'll peel the tape up. And release that. Yes, I like that color a lot better. Don't want it to hit my hand. And then I'm going to put this in my soapy water. So now I have everything soaking. It's going to make my cleanup so much easier. When I am done, all I have to do is go into the bathroom or my kitchen and rinse everything off. Okay, let's move this out of the way. We'll let that dry. And we'll finish up everything else that we have to do. So the next thing I'm gonna do is, let's see, I'm gonna grab my Big Star and the So Saffron ink, and I'm gonna break my ink pad, just like I just did. And I'm just gonna ink up the word baby. And I'm just gonna randomly stamp it all over that star, okay? And then I'll deal with this. Everything's breaking on me right now. Did you guys notice that? Then I'm going to move that out of the way. I'll bring this in. I'm going to bring in Memento ink and ink up the sentiment. And then all I did for that was I just took my paper snips and then I just cut right down the center. And then you just kind of want to make sure that you have the same amount of white on each end. So, and then I am just going to trim just a little bit off the top. I don't cut very straight, but that's not too bad. So let's go ahead and we'll trim this just a little bit there. And then trim a little bit off each end so that kind of looks like it's symmetrical too. Oh my gosh. Don't know what I have on my finger, but something was sticking. Now I wanted to show you guys what I do is the foam adhesive sheets. I cut a little bit smaller than what I want it to fit on my paper. And when I did that, I had these extra little pieces pop off. So I am going to save them. And here in a minute, we're going to put them on the back of that to fit on our card. Okay, let me see. I really hate to mess with this. So I'm going to turn on the heat tool. I just want to make sure before I start adhering this and stuff that this is good and dry for me. The embossing paste dries fast, but you know, you've seen what kind of day I'm having right now with everything breaking, so who knows what could happen, right? Okay, let's go ahead and bring in our base, and then I'm just going to use some more Tombow again. And you could pop this up. I actually thought about doing that with dimensionals if you wanted to, but I just decided to just do it this way. Okay, let's just adhere that down. Okay. Trying to be gentle in case any spots are not dry. But I think I'm good. It felt really like it was dry. Okay, so then we're going to take, I just got water on that. Let me grab my dimensionals. I have a little speck of water right there on my table, but I don't think it harmed any of it. So I'm just going to place dimensionals randomly on the back. Put one right there, kind of doubled up. I am telling you what's the truth, you guys. Oh my gosh. I'm glad when I watch other people's videos that I see I'm not the only one that has these horrible mistakes happening. My goodness. So I'm just kind of putting that up in the upper right corner a little bit. And then before I adhere these down, I am going to place the dimensionals on the back. And just to make sure, I'm trying to find my pick tool. I'm just going to make sure where I'm going to want them is where I place them. So let's try and make sure I have them flipped over right. I'm going to grab a paper towel and blot up that little piece of water because I know I'm just going to make another mistake if I don't. So I'm using the mini Stampin' Dimensionals on these stars. And the teeny tiny ones, we have to use glue dots. So let's kind of see. Let's put maybe one there and maybe one up there. And then we'll scatter the little ones. I like that, so I am going to leave that or put them there for the placement. So let's go ahead and peel these off. And then place that there. And I want to use, I'm going to use actually the Flowers for Every Season. And I'm going to use the blue twine that's in there. I'm going to tie a tiny bow. It doesn't have to be very big at all, but I do want the ends to be kind of long. So let me just kind of pull that. And let me just snip that off. And let's see. I think I'm going to place it there. And I am going to snip these. Not very much, but I am going to snip them just a bit. Let me grab my mini glue dots. And I'm putting this down first because in the original card, I didn't. And I had to kind of like tuck it under the baby, the word. And that way here, I'm going to kind of already have that on there, not have to worry about that. So I'll show you what I mean. So I put that on last and the baby was already there and kind of in my way. So this time I can see where it's going. Okay, and then I'm just going to use the pick tool and I just kind of rolled that up and then placed it on the back. And then we'll put one here, kind of shove that back underneath there so you can't see it so bad. And I'm going to roll another one. You can just kind of roll it on the back of there. Make sure that you have the right side up that you want up or down. Let's put one right there. And then one more. And again, I'm just going to roll that up and put that right in the center. And I think I'll do one right there. Okay. Then I'm going to take, like I said, and I'm going to use this adhesive. I might have to straighten it up a little bit. Let's just eyeball it and trim that. That's really going to pop. I popped the other one up on dimensionals, but this is just like the perfect length. As soon as I cut that off, I was like, ooh, I can use those to pop that up. So let's go ahead and put that there. It's time. And then we'll grab the To Celebrate. And I think this one is going to be long enough for me to use. It could have been a little bit longer, but it's fine. It's time to celebrate. And then I'm going to use my pick tool and all these little pieces that I don't need. I'm going to try to pop out before I release it from the adhesive. I think it's easier. But we might have to just go ahead and pop it out. So just make sure before you do adhere it down that you have all the pieces that are supposed to be popped out. I think there's one right there. Okay, I'm trying to look from back here. Yep, right there. That one is still stuck. So just make sure you have all of those off of there. I think that one. Okay, now I'm going to just pull it off and then we'll see what we're stuck with. If I can get them to stop sticking to my fingers, that would be lovely. So let me just kind of release it from the die a little bit. I don't want to pull on it, so I'm just kind of trying to release it so that way I don't have too much problem when I go to peel it back. There we go. Okay. And this one is being stubborn. So let me see. Boy, he just does not want to come out. I tried going from behind. Did I get it? Let me see. Okay, I'm going to try my scissors and see if that helps. It's almost completely out. Okay. And then the adhesive came off, so it's right there. So let's just put the baby right there. Okay, guys, that is my card I am sharing with you today. I hope that you enjoy it, and please make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the like button. I upload videos every Monday and Thursday. Let me show you the original. And so I do like this one with the darker dots, circles. I like this one, I think, better. Okay, guys, thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you on Monday.